to this first, I think, council meeting of the new council. So, welcome to the meeting of the planning committee, Tuesday, the 16th of May. And the first item on the agenda is the election of chair. Do I have Councillor Thomas?
I would like to propose Councillor Tom Buckley.
Thank you. And do I have a seconder? All in favour of Councillor Buckley being the chair of the planning committee? I've kept the seat warm for you.
No, I did not. This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be great.
We're rooting for you, just remember that.
We're all behind you.
Picture us all naked and you'll be less nervous.
Fantastic. So, I believe then, what do I need to do? To get, that's the agenda, that's the agenda. It's good. Right. Okay. We're now on item number 2 of the agenda, election of vice chair. I do have a proposer for vice chair.
I propose myself.
I'd like to propose Michelle. I'd like to propose Michelle Thomas.
I'll second that.
Yeah. And motion carried.
All in favour?
All in favour? All in favour of this?
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Item number 3, apologies for absence.
I have no apologies for absence.
Missing Rob, is that the only person?
We are missing Rob.
Okay. Any declarations of interest, pecuniary, non-pecuniary? Item number 5, minutes of the planning committee held meeting, pardon me, the minutes of the planning committee meeting held on the 2nd of May 2025.
You couldn't stay away.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. So, agenda item number 5. Sorry, Mr. Arlett. Just be quiet, please.
Or late.
Agenda item number 5, acceptance of minutes, planning committee meeting held the 2nd of May 2023. Do you have a proposer? Seconder? Passed. Item number 6 in the agenda, public participation. There was some
Can we just do 5.2?
5.2, to consider the draft notes of the Climate Emergency 2030 working group meeting. The proposer, Mr. Thomas, second, Councillor Plum. Thank you.
All in favour?
All in favour? Yes, thank you very much. We'll get there.
You're doing really well. You are.
All second favour. Item number 6 on the agenda, public participation. Do we have any questions or comments on any of the agenda items for this afternoon, this evening? So, sir? Do you have any? Nothing.
No, you have to speak. This is your only motion to speak. So even if your item is later, you have 2 to 3 minutes to speak now.
Yes. Can you just check your name, please?
Yeah, it's a Longshore, 36 Diamond Garden, Henley, hang on, 10.
Speaking to item number
35 down the garden.
35 then, which is in the plans and you 13. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Now, so we have lived in 36 Diamond Gardens for 21 years. Our property is a link detached by a garage to number 35 Diamond Gardens. We wish to appeal against this application. The proposal is to form a first floor extension that will close the gap between ourselves and our neighbour over the garage. If this was to happen, our property would no longer be detached. No other houses of our design have been extended in this way in the 60 years that the house has been built. We indeed, as mentioned in the application, have extended our current property, but we are on an empty house on a corner block with no adjacent neighbouring property. We feel that the application is out of character in the area by the proposed mass and will close off a valuable open space. In turn, it will block a large proportion of natural light. We would be willing to accept a proposal that it steps back from our adjacent wall, which would not be a party wall agreement. We hope that you consider our objections, Ron and Devine Chalk.
Thank you very much.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from public? Okay,
Just ask if the committee want to ask.
do the committee want to ask any questions? Any questions? No? Okay. Move on to item number 7 on the agenda. The appointment of subcommittees, terms of reference and membership to consider the appointment of planning subcommittees. I believe there was, isn't there any?
Can I please make a proposal? Can I propose that this is moved to the next meeting, the next planning meeting?
Second for that.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. Same with agenda item 8, election of the chair for the neighbourhood planning committee.
I'd like to propose this is go to the next meeting, please.
Seconder. All in favor? Item number 9, vice chair for neighbourhood planning committee. And again,
Same, I'd like to propose this go to the next meeting.
Should we put 9, 10, 11, 12,
Yeah.
13 together?
Are we allowed to do these on block?
Yeah.
as the chairman, I think I say yes, you can.
Yeah.
If we propose to do so, we can. do so.
If you're going to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I propose.
We take them all on mass to make 13.
Okay,
Yeah.
and second for that, all in favor, yes, okay. So we only deal with 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'm assuming that you want to
Yeah,
pass along in the next meeting.
yes, all proposal will go to the next meeting, please, up to Thursday.
Second, all in favor. Okay. Takes us to item number 14, plans new. And we have plans new on page 14 of it.
17.
17.
17, yeah.
And the first agenda item on plan view, P23, it's 14 Grays Road, Henley Thames, RG91RY. Do you have any comments? All right, Councillor Plant,
Yeah, approval.
approval. Seconder, anybody else will speak? Councillor Jackson. You can't, only you can object, there's somebody, so I think it gets proposed and seconded, and then we take a vote,
No, we have,
discussion.
any other councillors want to discuss the
Yeah,
planning application
vote.
after first and second?
Okay, so we've got a proposal, we've got a seconder.
No, you can speak to your opinion.
Sorry, it was this.
Conservation area and what's there at the moment is there's a slate roof, then there's a pitch roof, and they're proposing a flat roof. So it's getting worse, much more complicated. But the work's already started. The other aspect of it.
Oh, it's retro.
Is it retro?
Is it?
No, there's another one where it's already started as well. It's not meant to be retrospective.
Yeah.
There's another one further down the track. That there's also starts to go.
If it was all a flat roof, or if it was all a pitch roof, I think it would make sense, but the fact that it's a mishmash of every type of roof available now, I don't think is appropriate conservation.
Any other councillors? Speak. I think on mine, I've seen the Henley Society comments as well, and they've gone with the same thing, say they prefer a pitch roof.
Yeah.
They haven't made any comments otherwise, it's not visible from the street, it is visible from Google Earth, but there's trees around there. The property where I am at the minute has a kitchen extension and that has a flat roof. But
Does it have a pitch roof
doesn't have a pitch roof.
and another pitch roof?
No, it has it is the normal front roof and then it's a flat extension. So I know they had difficulty with that.
Might just add a bit more to my, do you want to speak to your proposal and then I'll speak to my second?
Well, yeah, I can do. Yeah, Grace Hill as a whole. You're entirely right about your viewpoint on conservation area, to say that first, to not obviously contradict you. But there's just such a, as you said, a mismatch of various different things. That unfortunately we're considering obviously the main material reasons that we can object to a planning. So if it was distinctly out of keeping with the street scene, say Park Marmion Grange, where there is only one setting that you have there, then you have a strong case for it to be upheld at district. On a case like this, and it does happen every now and then, as a town council, we object to an application based on residents' views, irrelevant of whether we'll win it at district, but my personal viewpoint is we'd never win this at district if we tried to not approve it. And I also view that it is actually in keeping with the various other developments and bits that have happened to properties on that street, whether they are actually right or wrong. Councillor Thomas.
I think you've said it all not very well,
Yeah,
actually.
you're welcome to always, as new councillors here, you're welcome to always come up with, actually, I don't like it, which is fine, and disapprove on those, but then you'd need someone to second your disapproval. If you don't get a second, it goes to its motion.
I think just objecting on the grounds that you don't like, it's not good enough.
No, that's
But
all right.
what I'm suggesting is that moving forward, surely you have to safeguard the quality of architecture. So if we allow cumulative effect of things like this to happen, then everybody will have a cumulative mishmash of architecture styles, materials. There are different pitches on the two pitched roofs. I would urge people to say, let's urge for quality of the built environment.
That's true, but unfortunately, the precedent has already been set along this part of the road. You know, there are other areas of Henley which we have managed to preserve and they haven't gone. And then that, you know, then of course you would have that domino effect, but unfortunately, this part of Grays Road is already gone. Mhm.
Anybody else? Because I think the only comment I would have put in is the bit about R, which has got a flat roof, but they've turned it into more of a green roof. Can we ask from a green perspective, from a climate perspective, to get them to consider a green roof as opposed to just a plain flat roof? We're trying to, no, we can't.
No, you can only consider the application in front of you.
Yeah. Okay, we have a proposer, we have a seconder for acceptance. All in favour? Yeah, passed. P23 70 Grays Road, Henley on Thames. Variation of condition to the product plans. I think it's to increase the length of the ancillary building from 6 to 7 meters. Proposer.
Yeah, I'm going to propose approval on this one. I do appreciate, as we always do, Henry Salassi's comments, but that would come down to regs rather than planning. So any problem with wastewater, etc., is a building regs issue and not one to be considered by us.
Seconder. Councillor Thomas.
Anyone else wants to speak?
Anybody else want to speak? I've got nothing really to add. If there's building regs, you can get the plan permission to build out, but then the building regulations have to sort of say, okay, so I'm good with that. All in favour? We've got two, but P23 1385 and P23 1505. One is part demolition of a ground floor single story kitchen with a full width 2-story rear extension, and then there's proposed dormer window principal elevation for the same property. You take them both together, or are they separate?
Yeah, I was doing this separately, actually.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know why the householder has done it this way, but
yeah.
Because you might not want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all go through.
right.
I guess we
Thinking
could
ahead.
take them
Yeah.
separately.
Yes.
First one, S1385, part demolition of the ground floor single story kitchen and erection of new full width 2-story rear extension. Have any proposals? Any? Councillor Plant.
Trying to have a look from above it today. I'm borderline that the initial part of this application, the non-dormer part, is almost an overdevelopment. Pushing back towards the properties on Grays Hill itself. As we were discussing earlier, precedent on the street, 170, I think, and one a few doors down has gone almost the full length back to the properties behind it. Doesn't make it right, and I'm actually minded to say that I think this one would create I think we'd have good grounds to say this is an overdevelopment of the garden itself, a loss of amenity space to the house itself, and does create a loss of light and privacy to the property behind it. I think we've got good grounds to actually disapprove to this part on those grounds. I think on this one, we'd be minded to do so, even though that I have already said that properties 4 to one side and a few further down look like they've gone almost to the same length, but not quite the full width. So I think this one is excessive.
So we've got. They're extending the full width, but they're not extending the full length of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Have a seconder
To object.
to,
Yeah, yeah.
to object, also seconder to object. Councillor Jackson. Any other councillors? Okay.
I'm completely undecided about this one. I mean,
It's close.
it's the original kitchen extension that they're actually knocking down. They're not actually putting the same footprint back. They're only halving that footprint.
Yeah,
But putting it further up. So yeah, I'm 50-50 on this one. I'm not usually 50-50, but I am on this one. It's a difficult one.
That's why.
if I help.
Yes.
Can you stand at the back of the, so the objection from the Henley Society is they were looking of.
Can I just, sorry to interrupt you, but I do actually look at Henley Society, but I don't actually look at it in terms of our own decisions here, because the Henley Society is completely separate to us.
Sure.
I do glance at their comments, but I never bring them into a planning meeting here. So it's up to you if you want to do that, but I would,
Oh, no,
I
so
would
I'm
dismiss
saying-
what you're.
Yeah, I'm
No.
saying that that isn't my concern. Their
Okay.
concern isn't my concern. So what happens when you look at the back of the property at the moment, the existing kitchen extension has a pitched roof on it, and the opposing neighbour has a pitched roof on it like that. And there's a gap between the two.
Yeah.
What they're proposing to do is fill that gap totally and add a story. Yeah. So the side property, which isn't illustrated on the plan, it's called, has, there's then a tunnel for the back window and a loss of light to their side extension.
Yeah.
So it's not the back that's the issue. I think it's a loss of light, loss of amenity to the neighbouring property to the side.
Although they haven't objected, the neighbours.
Are we not here to protect their amenity?
Yeah.
And if they're not,
Very said that objective as well. You could go for a different motion if you like.
I mean, it's a policy decision.
Do
That's
we-
a policy matter, isn't it? Amenity, but that's like.
Do we take a vote on it? Because we have a proposer,
Depends.
we have a
Well,
seconder.
yeah.
So take a vote on it.
Yep.
Proposal for rejection.
Yeah.
4-4. All those against?
You can't second, yeah, then not.
I'm going to be against.
Against.
Yeah,
I'm 50-50.
Well, that's very nice.
I'm abstaining.
Yeah, I'm going to abstain because I know the back of these properties very well, and I kind of think that it will be okay, but I also take on Lawrence's point,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
it's carried
comes on.
anyway.
It's carried. P23 2010 side and then towns. Application for replacement of existing signage. New fascia signage with logo and phone number. Then when you got down to that, I was trying to figure out then, is this, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna try and
Sorry,
explain what I
I've got a proposal ready when you're ready.
Poser.
Right, so my proposal is refusal of this one. It's a conservation area. It's a very, very sensitive part of the town. It's a very, very busy highway. And these are, let's be clear, they are new illuminations in a shop window.
Yeah.
It goes completely against the design guide for Henley. And I think they're just downright dangerous because they are designed to distract people from what they're doing. So yeah, I'm against this one.
Seconder,
I'll second.
Councillor Jackson, that's one of
Thank
them. Any other councillors want to speak on it? Councillor Plant?
Yeah, I was just gonna speak a little bit on this. We've discussed for a long time on the planning committee going back over the shopfront guide. Now we've got some new councillors on it.
Yeah,
We
we-
should put it
We should.
on an agenda.
Yeah.
Because I know we've been raising it for last year and we keep
Yes.
kicking it into touch basically. But we need to set up a working group to look at it. Or something.
Perhaps we could wait till Jake is back.
We could start some brainstorming on what we would like to see and collate some images and some photos and some bits like that. And then look at criteria after that, would be good, but I otherwise agree with your points.
Yeah, but this is a serious one. I mean, it's highway safety at stake as well here.
So we have a proposer, we have a seconder, all in favour? It's carried. P 66 and Andrews Road. Landscaping front and rear gardens, which I believe is retrospective, they started the work area, I think. Event proposer, council plants,
Yeah,
anybody else, second,
yeah, I'm happy they have started.
councillor Romans. Yes, we are unhappy that they started without planning permission.
Just note.
Noted. Vote, we have a proposal of acceptance. All in favour? P 23, ground floor, 41 Station Road, Henley on Thames. Change of use from office to 1-bedroom flat. Proposer, councillor Romans.
I propose rejection, so following comments I'll make on this. Point number one, we are looking at going from office accommodation to housing accommodation, so we then lose the commercial space, which is something we're trying to protect. Additionally, this is thinking 2 or 3 steps further here. If it's a 1-bedroom flat, whatever we want to call it, I'm going to assume that the person moving into this might have a car. And we've also got the Premier Inn application bearing down on us as well, and there's no guarantee we're going to win that. So if that goes ahead, you've got even more, even fewer car parking spaces to deal with here. So, okay, fine, I mean, that one is yet to be decided, it's a bit hard to work out what's going to go there, but on balance of probability, I'd reject it.
Okay, the seconder, councillor Plants. Any other councillors speak? Take my idea.
I was gonna say, yeah, we really must protect retail space. It might not be in use at the moment. It might be in a various state of repair, but I mean, we've done it with, some obviously first floor and second floor, but we must not let ground floor be changed to residential at any cost until we can get some sort of Article 4 that protects various areas of the town centre and Newtown Road.
Okay. There we propose and a seconder, take a vote. All in favour, reject. P 23, 167 Grays Road, again, the dormer window to the principal elevation. Proposer, councillor Plant. Seconder, councillor Jackson. Anyone want to speak? Take a vote. All in favour, acceptance. That's proven exactly why they'd split it into 2.
Yeah.
And the final one, which Mr. Chalk spoke on before, P 23, 35 Demo Gardens, both first floor extension.
I'm going for a refusal on this one, and actually, I'm really quite astounded at this one. I think in all the time that I've been on planning, I've never seen such an overdeveloped, unneighbourly extension proposed. To turn someone else's property into a semi-detached dwelling is totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
And it needs to be refused in the strongest possible terms.
Okay. Seconder.
Yeah, I'll second that, absolutely.
Any other councillors want to speak?
No.
I think the only comment I'll put is that if the house next to them had done exactly the same thing and turned theirs into semi, they would be taken off.
Yeah.
I think it's it's right at the end. I've had a look at the Google Maps. You look down there, the cul-de-sac, you see the space, you see the houses. That's just going to turn into, I'm not keen on that. So.
And I have to say to you, well done for not, being much more,
Vocal.
with your objections. I think you've been very, very reasonable in what you've said to your neighbour. Yeah, I don't think I would have the same.
So proposal for rejection, vote. All those against? You abstaining? Abstaining. Carried. So we're now on agenda item 15 on which I think as well. Do we need to call in
Last one, isn't it?
Councillor Thomas?
Yeah, I'd go for the last one, please, 35 Dana Gardens.
So we'll call in 35 in the lines. Who's gonna, I'm presuming,
We need to vote on it.
yeah. Do we just vote on it? Do we?
Well, unless there's any others to be added.
Okay.
I would recommend putting Station Road on there as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're calling Station Road, calling in the lines.
In view of what else is coming down the pipeline.
All those in, do we have a seconder? Yeah, okay, and we've got a vote. On favour, yes.
It's mean you're off the district. Or
I don't know yet.
and not.
We need to get a district councillor
Yes.
before we can.
Yes, okay.
I've got pen away.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea.
Kelly.
Those two.
Kelly's on that.
Yes.
Well done, Kelly.
It should be Ken. Probably drop Ken an email, I think.
That's what you said. Okay, that's agenda 15. Agenda item 16, decision notices, reports, decision from FBC. Do we have any updates on these? Who would, Kelly?
What?
James.
Oh, right.
Just checking. So in terms of these, Michelle, what the ones are these? We just go through them.
Sorry, I've completely gone to, properly think about that. I was so cross about that Dana Gardens one that I still can't stop thinking about it.
So do we
Okay,
note the report?
Is this the progress report on page 21?
It's 19
Decision notices.
decisions.
Oh, yes, yeah, just note them because unfortunately there's nothing we can do about them anyway.
They've been granted, obviously, and those are closed.
By the planning authority, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Agenda item 17, which is an interesting one, reconsideration of the plan application for 6 Duke Street. It is the building, I think it's used to be Cara. It is being redone to do the shop.
Mm.
There is a flat. They want to take the space at the back, put another flat in, create a garden above that, make the first floor flat into 2 floors. It overlooks the 3 tons. I know I've got some thoughts on this.
Want to share them then? Because,
So- If you stand in the beer garden of the 3 tons and you look up
yeah,
and you've got a nice little bit, there is no property overlooking the beer garden. What they intend to do is put a 1-bed flat in that space above the 3 tons. Their window will overlook, their living room window will overlook. They will have a 1-bedroom that will overlook the beer garden. They will then build on top of that. The front half of the building becomes a bedroom and a bathroom, and then upstairs becomes another bedroom and living room overlooking the front. And you will end up with quite a nice 2-bed flat overlooking the front, with a bit of a garden for you to go out and have a look. The 1-bed flat underneath will be small. Both the window and the bedroom will overlook the beer garden of 3 tons. So from that perspective, I'm very much against it for a number of reasons. I went through the SODC planning. We've got DES 5 about outdoor. There's no outdoor space for this flat. The residents' amenity, policy number 6, their amenity will have no amenity unless they quite enjoy drinking in the 3 tons. There's also the potential that once they get in there and they start to raise complaints about the noise, that affects the 3 tons, affects the business. They have regular music in there. We're losing amenities in the town centre. So from my perspective, I believe conservation have come back and said that they're okay with it.
yeah.
But I think from a town perspective, from a planning perspective, this is squeezing stuff in that isn't really needed. You can look at that, a 1-bedroom flat of that size, the rent that it would take, you would maybe get 12 grand a year off it. That is, it's a small amount. Can I squeeze
Yeah,
something in for?
That's not a planning consideration though, is it?
No, it's not.
I mean, so your proposal is for refusal, and it looks like you've got all of the, because with this particular one, if you don't mind me saying, the planning officer at SODC is now wanting us to expressly put down the policy
Yeah.
And it looks like you've got all of that already
Yeah.
together. And we just need to, if you're proposing that, I'll second it. If anyone wants to speak, we should just put that, you know, through to the planning officer. We definitely need to, outline particular nuances for that corner of the town.
Yeah.
Because the planning officer may not have that information because of course they don't live here. Yeah.
I would put somebody there, because there's 3 or 4, there's the business, there's the amenities for the town. There is the outdoor amenities for the tenant, there's the residence amenity, and then there's also, I think there's another one I would find.
I think there's waste and rubbish as well, because it's quite a congested area at the back of that.
Yeah.
Road,
Parking into the mix. as well.
access, so I think you can have parking waste for that.
Yeah. Parking as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a proposer and a seconder. Anybody else card a comment? Take a vote.
Yeah.
Refusal. One can take it back to SODC. And final point. Progress report for applications called in. Do the district council have been discuss this? Councillor,
No, we don't have one anymore. in here.
We'll figure out a process for that.
so they all seem to be. Oh, 23 Reading Road has been granted planning permission. I think it was on last time, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we mentioned that before.
So we can take that one.
Yeah.
Gavin knows that one well.
You do.
Well done, guys. And 10 to 8 was the meeting.
Well done.